guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. So today I am doing a video, and this is for a collaboration for Thanksgiving pies. Carrie over at My Table of Three is doing this collaboration for the first 2 weeks in November. And I'll have all the information down in the description box, but we're all doing pies. And today my pie is going to be savory. I'm doing quiche, 2 quiches. And I am super excited about this because we're getting ready to rip the kitchen out for a new kitchen. And so it'll look much different, same layout, but it'll look very different when it's all done. So that being said, I'm gonna have one of these quiches for breakfast for the rest of the week. And the other one is going in the freezer for when we don't have a kitchen to cook in. And I can just heat this up in the microwave or the air fryer. And I'm also using the pie dough that I made for never buy ready-made pie crust again and save yourself a lot of money. We figured it was probably about 30 cents a pie crust. So give or take a penny, who knows? Which in the store, they're almost $4 for 2. So, okay, that being said, I've got everything chopped and ready to go. One of these quiches is going to be the traditional quiche Lorraine, and I do that with bacon, spinach. I've got triple wash spinach I'm gonna saute down. I've got Swiss cheese and onion, and the onion will be divided between the two. The other one is going to be a mushroom, artichoke, and Swiss with the onion. No meat in there. So we really, really love having veggie egg bites and veggie kind of things. So I'm utilizing that. I'm gonna saute up all the mushrooms. Anything that's extra, we'll use it in a different dish, or make cream and mushroom soup, something like that. And so I'm going to utilize some fresh eggs, as well as per recipe, we'll have 1 duck egg in each recipe. And I'm going to get to sauteing because I need to saute the onions and the mushrooms and put them back in their containers, and then get the spinach sauteed down. In the cheese, I bought a 12-ounce package of sliced Swiss cheese. So I just cut it, and then for each pie is gonna have 6 ounces of the cheese. So, and then heavy cream, eggs, bacon. This is bacon I cook off. Typically once a week I cook off a big sheet pan full of bacon. I use it for our breakfast sandwiches, but because we're gonna be having quiche the rest of the week, I get to utilize the rest of the bacon and we don't have to worry about it. And then I've got artichokes. These are marinated artichokes that the artichoke hearts that you get at Costco marinated. They smell so good. Anyways, I chopped up a bunch. That's about a cup. And I just chopped them up, and that's ready for that quiche. So let's get over to the stove and saute some good stuff. And then we'll be back over here to put our pie dough together. And I'm using disposable. You can wash these and use them again. These are just little 9-inch pie plates that I'm going to use because one of them's going in the freezer. So there we go. All right, everybody ready for some quiche? Let's do it. Okay, so right now I have my mushrooms in here, and I might put mushrooms in I just messed up my stove. Oh well. I don't know. I want the artichoke one to have a lot of mushrooms. So I just have to saute these down, get them really nice. Then I will take them out of the pan, add more oil, get my onions sauteed. I can put the onions in raw. They're gonna cook. So I might go ahead and do that. But then I need to saute the spinach. So layers of flavor. Everything gets flavor. So don't cheap out on the salt and pepper. Both quiches are gonna need it. And I'm so excited. I absolutely adore quiche. And typically Thanksgiving morning or Christmas morning, mostly Thanksgiving morning, whenever I make my pies, I make a quiche for breakfast. So I don't have to deal with breakfast. It's just heat up and go. And Christmas morning we either have quiche or cinnamon rolls, but I don't do sweets very often, and certainly not in the morning. So I'd rather have quiche. And my husband, he's not picky. He'll eat either one. It doesn't matter. He would eat a peanut butter and jelly if I said that's what was for breakfast. So, all right. So I'm going to get these sauteed. As soon as they're done, I'll bring you back and we'll chitty chat with some spinach. I'm going to do the whole bag, and it's a triple washed bag, a 10-ounce bag of spinach. You'll be shocked at how much it shrinks down. It will look like a lot, and then it'll go away. And I just added 2 tablespoons of butter and a little bit, probably half a tablespoon or so of olive oil. And I use this guy right here. I get this at Costco. It's wonderful olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And it can take high heat, but it's so good. So preheat your oven to 375 and get a sheet pan out, because you're going to want to set these on a sheet pan. So just in case you have overflow or leakage, it's easy to clean up. So we'll get some foil on there and I'll bring you back when I'm on. I did want to show you, you really want to get these brown. All that caramelization is, it is so much flavor, especially when it comes to mushrooms. And I can tell you all of these are going in my one quiche. I'm so excited about artichokes and mushrooms and Swiss cheese. Yes, please. Okay, let's get this into a different dish. And I'm not sure if I have one, but I'm going to look for one that is appropriate. Oh, okay. Anyway, we'll get this taken out of here. And, okay. All right, now, all my mushrooms, sorry, you're getting the back of the pan because I'm lefty. I'm a lefty Lucy, but look how beautiful. Oh, they're sauteed so gorgeous. I want to eat them right now. And I need to get my little knife and my little butter knife to scoop out some more butter. Ooh, I don't want this to get too hot. And put some olive oil down there. Take it off the heat a little bit. I'm going to saute the spinach, so. Yeah. We don't need this to be too screaming hot, so keep it up off the heat until it cools down. That's the only problem with electric. Man, once you get hot, it's hard to go back. So I'm going to set this over where I'm going to be putting stuff together, and we will get our triple washed, ready to eat spinach down here. And as this sautés down, and I'm doing all of it, because if there's too much for the one quiche, boys and girls, it's going in the other quiche. Look at that. Fresh spinach. Nothing better unless it comes out of your garden. I really enjoyed having fresh spinach from the green stalks this year. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, you can go back and watch some of my gardening videos this summer. I showed the green stalks, and they're still thriving out there. Actually, I've got fall broccoli, and there's carrots out there still thriving along. And yeah. Okay, now I've got to salt and pepper this, because this is a whole different layer and possibly a whole different quiche. So So we want to make sure we're layering all the flavor every single bit of the way. And a little pinch of kosher salt. Okay. You could put some red pepper flakes in there if you want. I'm gonna leave the heat out for right now. I want comforting breakfast. And at breakfast time, if I decide I want a little bit of heat, I can add a hot sauce to it, right? But I don't want to be stuck with it. All right. So that went from that big pile to this in less than 2 minutes. So now I'm just gonna turn the burner off. This is sauteed enough. I will probably, there's plenty of moisture in there, so I'll probably take a paper towel and get that moisture out of there before I add it to my quiche. And so we'll just shut that burner off. It's done. It's done its job. Now I can take my salt and pepper over here. So I'm gonna do each quiche individual. So crack your duck egg. Ugh, the shells are so tough. Look at that big old yolk. That's crazy. And then we are gonna want, these are all different sizes. Some of these are pullet eggs. So I'm gonna get a dish to crack them in just because I don't want any shells in here and I don't want any, mishaps to ruin the whole thing. And I'm just gonna eyeball it on how many eggs. It depends on the size of your egg. I mean, look at the size of that duck egg yolk compared to the chicken eggs. Duck eggs have a lot more moisture to them. And this is really how I like to use up the, oh, I went in the wrong bowl, but hey, it worked out, thankfully. Duck eggs have a lot more water content. So they can get, if they're cooked too high, they can get kind of rubbery, the whites. So I didn't want more than 2 in here. I absolutely adore using duck eggs for baking. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are getting into nice size chicken eggs. Beautiful. I get my eggs from my neighbor, 6. And I'm gonna do 7. So we're gonna use roughly, well, probably maybe 6 regular eggs, large eggs for the next quiche. And I'm going to get all these shells out of the way, get them in the garbage. And if you were saving them, you can save them, cook them off a little bit to make them, get the proteins mixed. You know what I do need? I do. Especially for the quiche Lorraine, I need a little bit of nutmeg. Actually, I'm gonna probably put it in both, but I definitely want it, anything with spinach and yeah, and having, so just fresh. Not enough to go, oh, wow, that has a lot of nutmeg. Just, 1/4 of a teaspoon, something like that, 1/8 of a teaspoon. Just eyeball. Fresh cracked black pepper, and lots of it. Eggs can handle black pepper. This is, like I said, your seasoning as you go. So we want to make sure. And let's just get us some. Pinchy pinch. Okay, you talked me into it. Just a pinch of red pepper flakes. A pinch. Don't do any more than that, or you'll get yourself in trouble. Okay. And then I have heavy cream. You can use milk, but you're making a custard. So this is my Tupperware little gadget that works great for this. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside, and if I have to add more heavy cream, I will, but I'm gonna set that aside, and now it's time to get our pie crust ready to go. And so, if you watch the video on the Prep Ahead pie crust, it's in the freezer. And all I really need is some ice water. So I need to get some ice water, and I'll get my pie crust out and I'll show you how we do this for a 9-inch pie. Oh my goodness, I'm out of room. Thankfully, the new island is going to be much, much bigger. Okay, so for a 9-inch crust, if you were making it from scratch, and this is my pie dough mix that I did in the video, the last video I did. So it's all mixed. It's got the lard, the flour, the salt, the sugar, everything you need for a pie crust. And it's all put together, and now it's frozen and it's cold and it's wonderful. And it will make the best, flakiest crust. So calculating how much would 9-inch pie crust need, you're gonna go over a little bit because you've got the other ingredients in there. So instead of a cup and a quarter, and that's cutting it pretty close. I would rather have extra dough for an extra thick edge than have stuff that I can't use. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get this together with some ice water, and I'm just gonna use a fork, I think, to get this mixed together, and then so we've got our cold, and keep your hands out of it as much as possible. And just a few tablespoons at a time, you're adding your ice water till you can get a dough ball formed. And I've got flour here to flour my surface when it comes time. I'm so excited about having quiche. I haven't made a quiche in a while. Okay, so when it starts to feel like wet sand, and you can kind of feel like, oh yeah, I could push that together, it might be time to get your hands in there. But first, I don't want to heat that dough up. So, and my oven is preheated. You're gonna get some flour out on the surface. Let's wipe up any water that might have spilled. Okay, we got that. We'll set that over there. Oh, and I probably need some on my hands, right? Okay, let's see if we can, oh yeah. It can hold together. I may need more flour, but go ahead and get this down. You could do this in a food processor, but I feel like that it just all takes, those blades will heat up, and I don't want that. Let me see if I can find my dough scraper. Dough scrapey. There it is. Okay, let's put a little bit of it on here, and we'll get this. We need to get this into a ball. Yeah. Once you can make it hold together, you know you've got plenty of water. Okay? If you add too much, you're going to have to add flour, and we don't want to do that if we can help it. And I always try to make my pie dough, if I am doing pie dough, look at that. That came together beautifully. And I couldn't tell you exactly how much water I used. Probably 4 tablespoons of water, but absolutely perfect. Okay, get it all into a disc. Gather everything up. We don't want to lose any of it, right? And then we're gonna dust our surface again. And that's when we roll it out. Okay. I hope that you guys try this, because it is such a time saver in the kitchen. Okay. Now we're going to roll it out. And my tip for the rolling is try to get it rolled out to a good 3 inches past what your pie, like 9 inch. So I want to try to roll this into a 12-inch disc. Look at that. It's going to be so flaky because all those bits of everything are cold and layered and wonderful. Okay, we're getting there. Let's keep rolling. It's still too thick. And I have measurements on this this particular rolling mat, whatever you want to call it. It's got measurements on here. So I can see when I hit the 12-inch mark, which I'm right at. Right now I'm there. So 2 cups of your mix to 4 to 5, maybe even only 3 tablespoons of water. So then you're going to bring your pie plate over and get that. Let's get this rolled up just like you normally would. Okay, roll it up on your rolling pin, and then you can get your pie plate in here and unroll it. And then, so obviously this could have been over a little bit further. I try not to push it down in. I let it kind of sink in on its own into the pie plate, and then any excess around the edge here. Oh, and I need an egg for egg wash, don't I? Roll it under around the edge here. I'm going to flute the edges before I put my filling in there, but this is how I do it. I just roll it, and I don't care if it's perfect. It's rustic, it's homemade. I don't want somebody to think I bought it at the store, because I didn't. Anyway, okay. And somebody asked in my pie crust video, what's wrong with riboflavin or whatever? I don't put that in my stuff. I mean, it's probably a natural ingredient, but okay, so you can do a really easy flute where you just put your fingers down and bring it in like that, which is what I'm gonna do. It's easy, it's pretty, it's dramatic, it's lovely. So, whoop, this one is gonna be weird. But look at how beautiful. Oops, I got a little overzealous there. And I better get my egg wash. This one is going to be ready in no time. Okay, so we got our beautiful pie crust. Oh, ta-ta. Okay, that's one. Should we do the other one right now? I kind of feel like we should. Let's get her done. Okay, I will be back when I've got the other one done, and we'll start loading it up and get it in. Okay, so I've got my 2 pie plates. I'm super excited. So I'm going to take about half the onions for each one. Just a thin layer on the bottom. And you could saute them, you could caramelize them. That's how much time do you want to put into it? That's really what it boils down to. These are going to cook just perfectly in the oven. And so for the quiche à la reine, I like to do the spinach next. Actually, I'm going to do some cheese. So each, I partitioned this off with parchment, so I could get that done. But I'm going to put some of the cheese on right now, give it a barrier. Now I did squeeze this out pretty good, and we're going to lay this spinach down. Oh my gosh. So this is what it cooks down. It's just a small amount, but, and again, I've washed my hands several times. I want tons of spinach in here. So if you were using frozen spinach, you want a whole package, thawed out, wring it out. This has extra flavor because of the butter and the olive oil. It's gonna be so good. Okay, let me rinse my hands again and give a quick wash and dry and get rid of my towel here. And now we need bacon. Bacon! Oh, you know what? There's probably enough bacon for both of them. So I guess I'm gonna have bacon in both. I was gonna make the other one kind of just a veggie, but there's plenty of bacon here. So let's do bacon for both. And then another topping of cheese. And so the cheese is all the way through, right? And I broke up all those little pieces because I used sliced cheese. So I really just took the slices apart. So we just want to make sure it's kind of even in here. And yeah. Okay, that looks beautiful. Okay, quiche Lorraine, boom. Let's get, before I get too crazy, let's go ahead, a little more salt. Very little because, well, bacon is salty. More pepper. And I'm gonna go ahead and brush my egg wash, which is just an egg with a tablespoon of water added. I'm gonna brush my crust. If you don't do this, you're missing out because your crust will end up dull and kind of lifeless looking. I couldn't eat a pie that had a dull pie crust, or well, I guess I could, but I wouldn't want to. So, you guys, make your pie crust ahead. The holidays will be much easier because as you can see, there's a lot of prep work to holiday baking, to getting a pie together. You know, I could have made this super easy. I was planning on an apple pie and using my home canned apple pie filling, and then I thought, no, I'm going to show them a savory pie because I need savory. Okay, now we're going to pour our custard, our egg custard in here. And we may have too many eggs. Let's hope not, or too much custard. It's dripping out over here, so let's even it up and see if we can't get a, oh, I'll use my little butter spoon or my butter knife here that I had. We want to get that down in between everything. So it'll settle in there. Get it settling into the ingredients. Yeah, I probably could have done with a couple less eggs, but that's okay. We're gonna do it for the other one. So I probably will only do 5 eggs, maybe even 4. We'll start with the duck eggs and 4. So this one is ready for the sheet pan to go into the oven. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Okay. Oh, it's only gonna fit one pie per sheet pan. Okay, so I gotta get another sheet pan out. This one, so wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and brush my crust right now. And I'm excited about this one. Now that, especially since I get to have bacon again. Woo! So I buy my bacon in bulk when it goes on sale and I freeze it. And I cook off a pound or 2, you know, every Sunday, just so we have enough bacon for breakfast. If I'm, you know, on the weekends, sometimes during the summer, especially when I had all the fresh tomatoes, I did BLTs, and it's just nice to have it on hand, already cooked and ready to go. All right, so onions, done. Look at these beauties. Mushrooms. Oh my goodness. And I want this just lovely mushroomy layer. Can't have too many mushrooms. Although I probably I'm gonna take a few out for the top so you can see that there's mushrooms in there. Maybe it might stay. Okay. And bacon. We want bacon in every bite, so spread it out as even as you can. This one's not as important for the bacon factor, but it's pretty important. Okay, I'm gonna do half my cheese on this layer. And I don't know that it's really that important that you do it like that, but. And then my artichoke hearts. Woo! What? Shut the front door. Yes. You gotta love marinated artichoke hearts. So you don't want to use just plain artichoke hearts. You need all that flavor. That is wonderful. Okay, hands washed again, and quick, done. Let's do the cheese, and we've got to get some more eggs. Another bit of. Okay, my cheese is trying to stick to my glass here. It's been sitting there for a minute, but my crust is still nice and cold. If you had to prep stuff and you're not sure if you're going to have it all ready, go ahead and prep it. Put your pie crust in the fridge while you're waiting. And lots of pepper. Let's get some little pinch of salt. There we go. And now let's get some eggs in here. Let's do beautiful. One. Let me get rid of these as I go. One duck egg. And I'm telling you, these duck egg shells, they're tough. Well, they have to be because the ducks lay them wherever they are. They can be out in the middle of nowhere. They can be, so that's 2. And let's see. Let's see if that's enough. Because that looks like quite a bit of custard there once I add a little bit of nutmeg and the cream. I think we're going to be good to go. So we've got, okay, there's that. I need my heavy cream. Let's see how we did. I have another thing of heavy cream if I need it. But let's go. Okay, and we're off to the races. Oh, that looks beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, pour that over. Give it a chance to seep in. It's going to take it a minute. Don't overflow. Who doesn't love a good quiche on Christmas or Thanksgiving morning? This is my go-to. And I feel like I could use a little bit more. So I am going to grab some heavy cream. And we're just going to gild this lily right as she is. Maybe. Okay. Sometimes they make these harder than they need to be to open, right? Because that's really all it needed. A little bit more liquid, and we're done. That one is done, but now I want to place some mushrooms in here just to show that there's mushrooms in here. Pretty. And you could add parsley, you could add any kind of herb you want. I'm just keeping it pretty simple. Okay, this is going on a baking sheet in a 375-degree oven, and I will let you know when I come back how long they were in there. Okay, I'm so excited. Okay guys, these were in the oven and I bumped it up to 400. These were in the oven for 40 minutes. So I ended up about 15 minutes in when I knew that it was starting to set and brown. I put a sheet of parchment on each one so they wouldn't get, the crust wouldn't get too brown. They've been sitting here about 15 minutes. They're still hot, but as you can see, I can touch the pan. Not for long though, not for long. So I'm trying to decide which one I want to eat. I have had this one so many times. Quiche Lorraine is my favorite. But I think I want to try the artichoke, mushroom, and bacon one with you and cut that. So it's so beautiful. I really don't want to cut it, honestly. Let's see if I can get a more of a visual for you, because these came out absolutely gorgeous. Gorge. Yes, it's beautiful. Beautiful. So literally for not that much money, I have meals for days here. And when you can prep ahead and make your breakfast, you're saving money. You're not stopping at McDonald's to get something very inferior. You're using wholesome ingredients, and yeah, and this time of year, pies are what it's all about. And so that's why I brought you a savory pie. You can have this for dinner or breakfast, but a sweet pie is always wonderful, but we would never finish a whole pie. So I would have to give most of it away or figure out how to freeze that pie for later. And I don't know, have any of you ever frozen like slices of pie and then thawed them out later? How are they? I've never done it. So leave me a comment down below if you have, and I'm gonna bring you in. We're gonna cut this and we're gonna get a taste test. Okay, so I decided we're gonna try the artichoke one. Let's get this crust. And you wanna make sure you cut all the way through your crust. I should probably take that off of there. Hold please. Okay, let's pull both of these over. I'm gonna put this on a cutting board just so we have a really strong surface. And okay. Cut all the way through. And remember, this one had the cream that I poured on top, which isn't typical, but that's what happened to this. So, ooh, wait, there's a piece of crust right there. Oh my gosh, I have to have it. Oh, it's so flaky. It's so delicious. That's what I wanted to do instead of doing a taste test is just pick off all the outer crust. I love a thick crust on the outside. That's salty, slightly sweet. And I did put sugar in my pie crust because I'm going to be using this for sweet pies as well. But it works for a savory pie as well. You can leave the sugar out if you like when you make that recipe. Oh my goodness. I want to make sure I get the whole thing cut through. and then divvy this up. So this is a good 8 servings. I personally, maybe not, we'll eat a whole piece, but we're gonna, okay, that first piece is always a sacrifice. We're gonna get it out of there. Look at that, look at that. Now there's a piece of quiche. So we've got, oh, look at, somebody missed some artichokes in there. Can't have that, right? Okay. Whew. Let's let this cool down a little bit. And I want to eat that right now. Oh, I don't know if it needs to cool down. We're good. We're golden. Look at how beautiful. This is going to be, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we got eight breakfasts. So that's 4 days for us. And then this one, 4 days for another week. I might make a couple more and get them in the freezer before my kitchen is gone, if I can. But let me bring you up and I'll do a taste test. Here we go. I hope you can hear me. Hold, please. I'm gonna put my mic back on just in case. Okay, so we're gonna take a bite of this. Oh. And yes, we're going to test out. There's the bottom of that pie crust. Oh, look at that. It's all steamy and delicious. Oh, with the artichokes and the mushrooms. I can't even tell you how delicious this is. Let me give you that pie crust is so flaky. It just, yeah, it just is buttery, even though there's no butter. It's wonderful. Guys, I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious recipe. Go watch all the pie videos. And we'll see you next time. So guys, if you stayed this long, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and try these recipes. They're so delicious. And this pie crust is amazing.